Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and with me in studio today for part two of our series is Olmstead Hinds, and he is going to give some oral history and how he got from St. Lucie to St. Peter, and we're going to go all the way down to what is currently being planned without anyone giving their input. But yeah, let me welcome Olmstead into the studio. Olmstead?
Yes, good morning.
Good. Speak up, Olmstead. Please.
This morning I'm gonna deal with some fundamental issues.
Good. Okay.
And if you will allow me to say a short prayer.
Please.
To my God, the one who I serve.
Please.
O sovereign Jehovah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for we are foreign residents in your presence and settlers, just like all of our forefathers. For the days on the earth is like a shadow without hope. The riches and the glory are from you, and you rule over everything. For everything on the earth belongs to you, and in your hand there is power and mightiness, and in your hand the ability to make great and to give strength to all. Thank you. Now this morning, people might tend to think that I am on the attack with the Barbados Labour Party, but no, these fundamental issues started when I started to work at Port St. Charles. And that was in 1997. I was working at Port St. Charles and as a black Barbadian carpenter, and looking at the rights and how you're supposed to be treated in your land, knowing that our ancestors was treated bad by certain white people in this country, and we all know about it. I was told there, after my tools was run over by the project manager, Philip Temple, that he didn't care anything about me. I had to go to the investigator to get my tools back. After approaching him, he said he didn't care anything about me nor my tools. And from that day onward, I was on attack just for asking a question, because we was working on the harsh conditions there. And I caught bronchitis there, working over the water. And sometimes the tools fall in the water, and no compensation back for the tools, anything like that. I get to find out after I catch bronchitis and I was home for about 2 weeks. I sent in the doctor's report to NIS. And I saw that I didn't get no report back on this. So I went to NIS as a worker in this country and contributing to this country to help feed people in this country. That's what our money do. They told me I wasn't even on their list. So then them had to play a role in doing that. But when Philip Temple was coming on, Mr. Biercom, he brought him in, and I know a lot of people might not know they had two contractors there, Biercom Associate and Marine Construction. And what happened is he brought on Philip Temple and hold a meeting with the whole staff. Over 500 odd black people are working at that place. And he said to the workers that he brought on Philip Temple so that the work be going smoothly, efficiently, there be no damage of this and no damage of that. In closing of the meeting, he asked if anyone have a question to ask. And over 500 workers stand up looking at one and don't know what to say because they're too scared to talk to someone that think they have more privilege than them. Well, from small, I was not that type. And I raised my hand So he tell me to speak, and I speak. And I asked him when management gonna raise the workers' money, because they sense to think that the conditions that we are working under is too harsh. And we can't even bring home $500 when we come to feed our families. So he asked me how long I was working there. By then I only had it 6 months. And he told me, maybe if you was to come to my office and ask me such a question, I maybe would have considered it. And you should not even be working here. And from the next day I went into work, Philip Temple was at the door with one of the vehicles parked. I have the number of the vehicle also because I reported to the investigator. I had to went to the investigator to seek release. And doing these things to people, working class people that making a contribution to this country, with their rights being taken away, just like how the rights was taken away from our ancestors, with no backing. And in this time, in the 20th centuries, it isn't fair. So, on that matter, he ran over my phone. At that time, I was in the Barbados Workers Union because they came and stuff like that. And we filled out forms and I joined. And I went to the union delegate on site and I told him. And he told me, let's go and find him. We find him. And when we find him, the union delegate said he have the power to call the job off for what happened. And he looked in the union delegate's face and tell him, you know, you are the highest paid carpenter on this project. And there was not another word. And water started coming from my eyes. And then from onward, I was just getting stressed. And when December came, they gave me a letter and said they don't want me there no more. And I had to come home. And from then, a morning, I got up and looked through the back door. And looking through the back door, my eyes was just focusing on one thing. I couldn't get my mind off of looking at this thing. Because someone hollered for me. And then I started feeling sick from there onward. And I went to the doctor, and this doctor, her name is Dr. Lorna Todd. I tend to think that she's the head of psyche now. And she's told me, after taking my pressure and everything like that, she told me that my pressure is very, very high for a young man. So she put me on some medication, and she told me that they're going to make me sleep. And she told me, well, I can't put you on these medications too long because you become addicted to them. And then I had to went back to her on previous occasions because she sat down with me and asked me all the things that I was going through. And a very nice doctor. And then my relief and my closure from that was to clean up an old marl hole that was full of garbage for over 85 years. And upon the time, they had a bearded fig tree that was covering almost 60 feet north, south, and east with the roots come down. And the garbage all around on this same spot where I reside now. And there, I start to clean the hole out with the garbage. And they had a community nurse that used to visit the area from Morrisburg, polyclinic. I think her name was I don't remember her name. A very nice nurse. She used to live in England. Yeah, Nurse Chandler. Her name was Nurse Chandler. And she saw me in the garbage, and she looked at me and said, "Young man, come to me." She said, "You don't look right, but should not be in this garbage doing these things. You've got to come to Morsbar for a clinic because you can get tetanus and get a tetanus shot, but it's going to be like a booster on 3 different occasions." And I went and I got the first one. I think 3 months after I went back and I got the next one. And then I get the final one. And I started to cling there. And then I started to get visions of the place at night because I started to sleep in there. I couldn't come in the house no more.
Why couldn't you go back inside your house? What was the reason you could not go back inside your house?
Because after feeling the visions in there, what I had it to do, right? Mm-hmm. Some people may tend to think that being that I see now that I went through these things and I had to seek medical attention, that I was going mad, but they used to call me mad. But I don't mind that because I don't mind being mad, but I want to be a sensible madman. Mm-hmm. So if you know I'm mad, don't do anything to make me mad.
Right.
So at the same thing, with that, these are things that was happening to me, and now with 6 Men St. Peter, that's why now a community having children in my life. My mom had 9 of us, and I know the conditions, and I know to hear she pray at night. And come up in St. Lucie, very poor without a father. And you know that the situation when it comes to women, when they reach puberty, and you might see a guy, the opposite sex, and you might like him, and then there it go. Mm-hmm. But then if the man see when you stay with you saying get pregnant, he gone, and that's one thing they don't respect. If you have children, you got to raise them, you got to help with them, because you're building a nation. A generation going and one is coming, but God's words remain forever. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's what I went through. So in the community, we have children, and they're looking on. We don't know which one, whether the rich one and the one that got the privilege in this community, or the poor one with the next future generation, this and next Prime Minister of Barbados. So we got to help them. The children need a mentor. Some people need mentors to help them, especially children, to help them through. And children in the area, seeing things happening to them, you don't know how they affect them, because all of us have some sort of emotion, living with emotion. Some people in life have a disability that you can see, and some people have some that you cannot see. So these are things that in life, so don't think that you are better than anyone, because the rich man feel that his money is his God in his imagination. But the God above, he's a true living God, and he gives strength to all. I'm going to touch with issue with, as people might think that I'm about to attack the BLP, and I'm not from here, but I used to come here to 6 Men's Land. I born in 1963, and about 81, 82, I was coming to 6 Men's on this same plantation with my grandmother from Chucker Hall to strip cane off, take off the trash, and she would tie the band and put them on. And she would tell me don't put on too much to hurt the liver's head. So I know about down here. So, and there are also people that used to work this land from Chucker Hall. Irene Hinds, which is a relative of mine, and her daughter Miriam Hinds still have the house. Them coming back in the 90s to put the house about. There were one house out in here, child house out in here, when surrounded by ground, Miss Rural. house when I used to come here, because up in here from the highway 1B, from the village start from the Judge Gap coming right down to the seaside and going straight back to the east was the village and beer houses, but up inside was working land. And Tom Allen's moved the people because the beach started to erode in that time, and they moved the houses and put them to the northern side. He acquired the land over there and put them people to the northern side. So 6 Mills wasn't just a place that people come and squat. Then here come now, after the marina, another port, which does remind me in 1429 under Christopher Columbus, his voyage to Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, when I saw boats sailing up in there. But we're on a different mission to run black people. Retreat area, 13 acres that are owned by Beercom, and all inside there, the land that he bought in there, people that was playing ground for 6 Mills resident. I don't know who to own it before. So I'm a carpenter, I'm a builder. I read plans. I build for white people outside. I'm not racist, but only the conditions. But you bring racism to me, will you have a fight? Or anything that inferior to my belief, you have a fight.
So Olmstead, when you were relieved of your duties, and that really set you back, how did you get back on your feet? What did you do?
Well, as I said, the part itself give me the closure in the dump, and the ashes at the dump. By among their picking inside and cleaning it, I think that's what gave me back my relief.
But money, I'm talking about money. But you weren't making money doing that, were you?
No, and that was for 2 years. They didn't make no money. And then, because sometimes too, I go to the beach, I do spearfish, and I go to the beach and just go and look at the fish. Maybe I want fish to eat and got the spear gun, and just looking at the beauty and the life of the fish and seeing different things out there. Can't come back home without anything, because them the things I used to do. But as far as eating and stuff like that, I would like roast bear fruit and whatever. My sister, Miss Warner, she used to help me out a lot. And that's how I started to live. And after that, after that, I start come out of it, and then I heard that they're at Spring Hall through the land lease program. They had a Vincentian man up there was picking 5 acres of beans. And I went over there and I asked to help pick some, and it was paying at 20 cents a pound. And I started to pay, but it was hard, but it was worth, and we were able then to give me a little better living, because I had a child on the way, and they ain't able to, because I remember when she born, I didn't even had no money to buy no clothes for her, and my sister had it to assist me. Right now she's a nurse at QVH, Shadi Hinds, and also a midwife. And I went to pick beans to make sure that to get something to eat. And I found out that I worked for more money after that than working in my trade for the marina. But then the amazing thing after that is that when the beans finished, I was back home, and I know in the flying fishing season time, the cross 6 Mills 1B highway, the road be fat and be blocked coming from Spikestown coming north. And I was standing up, because I used to, after that, I'd say, well, let me go down there and see what's going on, maybe get some fish, and if I know anyone coming in. get some fish that I know, right? Because sometimes, you know some person and you try to eke, you try to eke out of life what you can get in the honest way.
Exactly.
They went over there and I was standing up and this black Jeep come up alongside of me. God is above. And the windows went down. And who was looking at my face? The same Philip Temple. And he remembered me. He said, Mr. Hinds. And I said, yes, Mr. Temple. He said, you working? I said, no. He said, you need work. I said, no. And he looked at me and told me, as long as Jada alive, come to me, I will give you work. And I never went back. So these are things that I went through.
You never took him up on that invitation, you're saying? You never took him up on...
Wait. What? No. Why should I do that? I will die first.
Okay.
I will die first before to go through things like that have me. You don't know how when people do things like that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, you feel inside.
Yeah. Oh! I do know.
I know. And the trauma that you've got.
Oh, I do. Oh, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. I do know. I don't think people understand the things they do to you, but I do know.
So there are things that happen to me that I can relate to, and there's truth. So I seek my own work. I met myself my own boss, and when it comes to work, I love to work. But if it is good, I go to jobs and I hear the wrong thing, you can take your money, I go. I don't want your money. Just say the wrong thing to me, or you come the wrong way. And I think that it's going to be inferior to me. You have your job and you have your money. God will provide for me. So that's it for what I went through. And if I have some more time, I could deal with the issue now with Netta Marina.
Mm-hmm. So the impact. So there's something coming. We know there's something coming. You know there's something coming now. This is 2024. There's something coming. Are people talking about it? What's the ground? What are people on the street saying? What are people saying?
Well, on that topic is what happened is sometimes people don't know how to speak. They're afraid to speak because they think they get tied up in politics and they love this. They love Democrat, Liberal, like BLP, but they mumble among themselves. I don't know if they have a conscience to know what is right or wrong, but I do know that your conscience, if you do have one, could be your worst demon when you're about to die. So, and when you see some people lying inside the hospital, you don't know these are things when I look at people, and when I see people on the streets, you don't know what I went through. But there are wicked people out there and they're good people. They're good dogs and bad dogs. So they tend not to say anything because they believe in this government. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to vote for this government when I was in St. Lucie, but then coming down, I vote for it once when I came down here. But seeing how, people talk and how people is, but no one, I just get away from it, right? So I put my thing in one source now, no man.
So you no longer vote? Is that what I'm hearing? That you no longer will vote? Is that it?
No, I will never vote again.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Never. Right. Okay. My insurance, according to national insurance, is from God. Because in my condition, if I grew up poor and I see the condition and hear many cries of my mom, because and the fact of it, a politician can go for 5 terms and come up with a pension. The pension rate raised, isn't it? So at that time, the Bible tells me there's 3 scores and 10. 70, if you're extremely strong, you could go to 80. So what the pension rate is for people in Barbados? And if the pension rate is that for Barbados, that means they don't give you much time to get that benefit that you're supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
But a politician, 1 month, 2 months, or 12 or whatever, but do 5 years and come with a full pension. So you tell me.
I thought they had to do 10
Right.
years. I thought it was 10 years. Okay.
Now, listen, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
but just look at it realistically, and
Okay.
it will tell you a lot.
Yeah.
You are not dealing with two people, but you listen. You could deal with who you ever deal with, but I think, right? On the same matter is that the thing getting back to the Marina Port for the with you have 13 acres and you build condos on the south side, going Street Road to Mile and Quarter. Suppose you have 13 acres, and you take up 6. You leave the remainder of you take up 6 with condos, including water. You leave 7. The 7 you lose. You have remaining. Now we're doing maths, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Carry over as a private. You put in a wall as a private entity, and you have there, but you have that phase. You already did phase 1 within your condos and your water. You got phase 2. You have no access. You have to get a helicopter, boats can carry tractors across there to this 7 acres. But you have a premeditated plan, man. Your premeditated plan is to see the northern side where Tom Allen's put the road through the village for the black people, right? And which supposed to be squatters. Now tell me if this isn't premeditated. Up come now, and one particular year, which is in 2014, Barbados Labour Party wasn't in power, but the Democratic Labour Party was in power. Now we know that there's a ruling party and there's opposition. Now, according to September the 22nd, 2014, the opposition leader, MP Trevor Prescott, he had a town hall meeting in the Independence Square, along with Abdul Raham Manasseh Nassan and David Kamashong. By the way, I had to bring David Kamashong here. I pay him personally to come to look at the matters, and Bobby Clark to come and look at the matters for assistance for the people assistance. I don't only looking after myself, I'm looking after the whole community and children in the area. These are children, the future generation for Barbados, man, right? And now, sir, he in this article, he said, look at yourself as black people, right? He said that the commission is black. You have a black governor general. You have a black civil servant, right? Totally black, right? 70%, and he said the country have 97% of black people in this country, but being ruled and on the mind by a small majority, right?
I've always said you are the majority minority.
Right.
Minority.
The majority and whatever it is.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Right. And he also related to the companies, System Motors and stuff like that. All these people that got the companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we could go to them and say, we want some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, but what amazed me good is about this same article. David Commission said that the sweat and tears of our ancestors built this country, how dare Dennis Kelman could say such things that we are squatters. And with Trevor Prescott being the opposition, we know how things go, opposition and ruling party. It happened a long time ago on the Satan and the Most High at Job 2, stations before God. Come from the earth, roving about. Have you put your eyes on my faithful servant Job and my upright and walking in integrity? And he said, stretch out your hand and touch him and say, don't curse you to your very face, because all a man will do for his soul. Right? And that's what people do when it comes to certain things, because they look at yourself. But you got to look at someone else out there, not yourself, man. You got to look at people out there. You got to help people out there. Huh? You got to help people out there. So, the opposition, MP Trevor Prescott, which now he's still probably there in the house now. I want to test the team. If his BLP party was in power, since you are there now, this is a question for you. Will you say that this thing is right pertaining to 6 men, is wrong or right? Right now to Dennis Kelman, he was wrong, totally wrong. Because he visited 6 men, and here come, he was doing a tour up in St. Jovis with Pearline down with the freak storm, and it blew her house. And it was dispute with the landowner. So, and that paper was in September the 17th, 2014. And he was asked a question pertaining 6 men, and that's when he said that we are just squatters. When the media contacted by Lisa King find Mr. Owen, he had a report to say about it, that the land was acquired for the purpose of the residents.
Okay, so let's stop here. And next time we speak, which will be part 3, we're going to talk about this acquisition. We need to talk more about the acquisition of the land. I know you, in the first part, you mentioned how much land you need for the people who are there. You already, how much was it that they're on? 30 acres?
I told you 40.
Oh, 40. Okay, yeah. So we already know how much land you need for the people, the residents there. But we're going to talk about the hotel that is being planned. We're going to talk about what you think about the impact. Were there impact studies done? And we're going to talk.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, for the impact studies, I am not going to tell a lie with to say I didn't hear about the impact, but doing the impact study, to me, is if anything will come to a community, it's supposed to be a proper impact study, and actually too, they got billboards. So you're supposed to have some billboards showing you. Cause if you go down to here was that own this here was hotel, you would see a billboard there in any infrastructure when it was doing the beach and stuff like that for the same hotel, right? But you're supposed to bring something that to show the people, involve the people. No, don't. That's not a field that could be easily said, because you remember a long time ago when first things started to happen about this land, they had plans for this land. They do it for the break down by Bradshaw shop. They bring the meeting there, and they had the plans there, and they object to it because and call the nation because you know what they do? You tell about it that Christ had his disciples and he had fishermen. So even the Pharisees think that they was unlettered and extraordinary. So that's what they do to people.
No, but when I talk about impact studies, I'm not talking about them doing their geological stuff. Or I'm talking about them coming within your community and talking to residents. And I'm talking about a town hall meeting, some sort of town hall meeting. So is that happening?
Right. Well, as I say, I know about the town hall meeting. I ain't know and I ain't hear none. I ain't know about send me a letter about the town hall meeting and email none. So all I know about that I get a piece of paper now with it says with the road up here, they can block off highway 1B coming up to the cul-de-sac and for 4 weeks and at this stage now I know tractors are up in here doing the rocky road through here, but I know definitely if that they're happening because they know that the people will make noise.
Right.
That would never happen.
Right.
Right?
All right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So these are things.
Yeah, we have to. So let's continue because we're going into almost 40 minutes. Yeah. So we will continue more with what's coming, what's about to come there. And if it was acquired, I'm still sticking to this. If that land was acquired by the government, what is the issue? When you acquire land, you have to pay the people the going price. Pay the people. What's the problem? What's the problem here? So we're going to talk about the problem and why it is held up. Was the government trying to pull a fast one? You have to look. Were they trying to pull a fast one on the people who owned it, supposedly owned it? But yeah, we will continue with that in our next part 3. And I'll let you land this plane. Just go on and say your last what you need to say, and then we'll end up here. We'll close out here.
Yeah. To Barbados, you have your children. Help your children. Let them know when they're right or wrong, and rally around them. But if they're wrong, let them know they're wrong. Thank you, and you have a nice day.
Thank you, Olmstead. This is Sherry Veronica, Naked Departure Radio.